What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I just dropped a video about the Derrick Jaxn divorce situation, and I gave you guys some uncomfortable truths. I was reading the comments right here, and it seems like you guys are a little bit bothered. So let me address a couple different comments and give you guys a little bit of clarification and tell you why I tell the truth regardless of how you feel. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, fuck your feelings. I know you ain't heard me say it in a while, but I'm definitely the same person that I was yesterday as I am today. Don't let these 100,000 plus subscribers fool you, right? But make sure you guys hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Also, make sure you tap into the Patreon. That link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I just released a new interview in there. And I got a bunch of new interviews as well as the Patreon meetup in Miami, New Year's Eve. I'm about to fly back and forth to Miami because I got some business to take care of there. We got the Patreon exclusive retreat, build a business, a lot of different things that's going on. So make sure you tap into that. And then more importantly, make sure you subscribe to my new channel called Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom, as inspired by that sign that's right there. Don't do coke in the bathroom, ladies and gentlemen. Share with the group. All of my interviews are moving there, so definitely subscribe to that new channel as we push things on this YouTube platform to make sure that we platform agnostic and we want to separate different content for what it is that our audience is looking for. However, let me read a few of these comments. First person says, usually, oh, here it is. It said he graduated from his wife, ? Yes, he graduated from his wife. Now, let me use my situation as an example because somebody wanted to speak on my situation in comparison. First and foremost, you can't compare me ever to Derrick Jaxn. First of all, because I don't cheat, A. B, because me and my wife is so integrated that she's always going to be rolling and leveling up with me. Rita, in her own right, as far as the things that I'm looking for in a wife, continues to evolve and grow with me. And that's partly because she is a reflection of me. She continues to do the work. She continues to grind. She even works for me in my business. So we are so interconnected, and we will always be interconnected, that's not even a possibility. I'm never getting divorced. I've been saying that since I've gotten on these platforms well over 8-9 years ago, because I'm an OG in this YouTube space, whether you believe it or not. And I'm still the same way, even more today than I was yesterday. So regardless of what level of success, whether I was in my mom's basement when we went through going broke, or I'm at the pinnacle and I'm a millionaire like I am now, I'm never getting divorced. I have a sense of loyalty, and that's just what my life is like. The flip side of that, though, is that most people don't understand what marriage is really about. It's really a sense of duty. It's really understanding and looking at it from a business perspective. And he's not me. So for me to make an assessment on what it is that he's going to do or how that's going to affect him and how he can spin that to make it a positive or a negative situation is an objective reality. It has nothing to do with how I feel. It has everything to do with the truth. Let me continue. Jason said, so marriage is not till death anymore because he's famous now. Does he owe her loyalty? Of course he does. He married her. Has nothing to do with the reality. And no, he does not necessarily owe anybody anything. I believe that he should have stayed at the very least just for the kids, right? But then at the same time, his brand is much different than what it is that I do. His brand is not based in authenticity. His brand was based off of telling people what they want to hear in order to be able to get the people to buy into it, which is, it's the thing that you never want to do, because once you get found out, you can never really come back from it unless you rebrand yourself and start to be honest and be truthful. The beautiful thing about Derrick Jaxn, and the real uncomfortable truth, is that he is in the top 1%, probably the 0.5% of men, and that he's fit, he's nice looking, if you really want to be honest, he has resources, and he's famous. And he's able to articulate himself well. Now, whether or not I like him as a person has nothing to do with the reality. The reality is that there's always going to be a lane for him, especially now that he's already gotten famous, A. And then B, he's already at the top of the food chain, and he's still gonna be in the top 1% of men, whether you like him or not. So it doesn't really matter if it's till death do us part. The reality is that they facing a divorce, and this is what he's gonna do in order to be able to continue to be successful. All right, somebody else says, Anton, this is Chuck Don. Chuck Don wrote an hour ago, Anton, I understand what you tried to convey, that Derrick Jaxn outgrew his environment, but I respectfully disagree. Jaxn made the knot in caps, outgrow his marriage. However, Derrick was not honest with himself, and neither was he honest with his wife. He lied to himself, to his wife, and continued to deceive his mostly women fan base. Any man or woman who understands the basic concepts of intergender, intersexual dynamics knew that Derrick Jaxn was full of lies and deceit regarding the information and subjects he was selling to women. This has nothing to do with whether or not he was selling deceit and lies to women. We're talking about him getting divorced and how it is that he's going to rebrand himself. The thing about it is that she never did, and she probably never will, evolve into being the woman that she's supposed to be. I gave the backstory behind why people, in a lot of instances, especially when you're raised in a church in situations like that, or in small towns, wind up marrying a person that's in close proximity that you grew up to that had your back. Doesn't mean you're gonna be that same person when you turn 20, 30, 40, 50. And so those are uncomfortable truths, conversations, and then more importantly, you have to continue to evolve with the people that are in your life. The same way that you can divest yourself against the people that are holding you back once you get famous is the same way that you can start to evolve past the person that you're married to. Is it what you should do? No. Is it something that happens? Yes. The same way that Kevin Hart evolved past the woman that he was married to. The same way that Dwayne Wade, well, that's a whole nother conversation. Let me go on to one more comment. Madabo says, what do you mean outgrow your wife? If anything is good that she kept him grounded, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you see that woman with her helmet of righteousness? It was worse than, well, don't worry about it. People still cheat regardless of their spouse behavior. That's the mother of your children. It's like saying you outgrown your parents. You do outgrow your parents. That's what you don't get about it. In order for you to grow, a lot of times you have to leave the environment that you're in. And Derrick Jaxn very much was different than what it was that he was trying to present to the general public, which is one of the reasons why it wasn't working in the first place. I like exuberant Derrick. It's actually a white woman. White women always seem to have the most sense for some reason. It says, she watched him get fine, fashionable, and popular and decided she would not put in the same effort. There are so many people or so many put together housewives and mother, that's no reason not to give up on, or no reason to give up on yourself. He needed her to step up and be equally presentable and couldn't get the support. A photo shoot isn't enough. Facts. You need to grow with your relationship. Listen, if you marry a chick and y'all got married in the hood and it was your childhood, whatever, so on and so forth. And again, I'm not talking about a sense of loyalty or what you should do. I'm talking about the reality. You married this chick and y'all was on the hood or whatever, and she's still talking that hood God body shit, and you've grown to be a mature adult. Y'all got married when y'all was 18 or 19 or 20 or 21, and y'all 40 and you've grown to be a mature adult that's now a businessman, and she's still talking about you need to hold me down and all that. Man, come on, man. What we talking about? Y'all need to grow the fuck up and look at reality. That's why a lot of y'all ain't married. Wait. Hold on. Let me read one more. This was a goofy take. Outgrowing your circumstances isn't a reason to do what he did. For you to say that is totally irrelevant. It's not totally irrelevant. Should he have cheated? No. The truth is that he did. The question that you got to ask yourself is why? And then also you want to look at who you are in order to evaluate whether or not you lost something, or if you one of the reasons that he cheated in the first place. See, again, a lot of y'all are goofy. A lot of y'all are absolutely goofy. And the goofy aspect of this whole situation is that you don't want to face reality. And the reality is that if you look in the mirror instead of looking out the window, it's a strong possibility you would have got better results. But you wanted to do things differently. You thought that you was better, or just because you was there for a long time that you didn't have to grow and change and evolve. You still talking about the helmet of righteousness, and life has already moved on past you. I'm not the type of person to abandon. I'm the type of person that builds you up and then unleash you. He not that type of guy. Doesn't mean he's still not in the top 1%, regardless of how I feel about him or whether or not he was selling a dream or a narrative that wasn't true. Grow the fuck up. It's just the reality. Life is what it is, and if you don't adjust, it's going to leave you behind. And then you're going to be sitting here complaining, talking about what other people should have did while they moving on with their life. I don't know what his path is going to be. I know what he can do in order to rebrand himself and make himself great. But the reality is that y'all need to get with the program or get left behind. That's how the business world works. That's how life works. And women have been doing it for an extended period of time. And so you need to get with the program or you're going to get left behind because women do it all the time. That's the reality. It's the uncomfortable truth. Deal with that shit. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. Do you think that Derrick Jaxn leveled up and then he outgrew a situation? Or do you think that I'm completely wrong and she kept him grounded like some of these people in the comments said? I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.